Hello everyone, welcome to Hailing in Tarot. This is your weekly relationship reading for Cancer. Before I get going, I just want to let people know for Thursday's reads from now on, I'm just going to be putting those out randomly. I'll just keep starting over and over again as I get through each sign instead of doing them all and putting them up at once. So there will always be readings out there. They will be in playlists as usual. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Let's have a look, Cancer. The energy around you and your relationships. Okay, so we have somebody needs to step up and take the lead. We have someone here unleashing their kindness self. So I do see some kindness here. Wow, it shows somebody here is definitely open. Yeah, someone's keeping their heart open. Somebody ready to open up their heart here. Beautiful. Yeah, a lot of Capricorn energy here. So it's just energy. Yeah, and then we have this Libra energy. I feel like we got a person definitely needing to come in, step up and take the lead. Someone's ready to open their heart here. Now with this Capricorn energy, I get the vibe of someone who's just kind of looking at this situation, kind of seeing what's going to happen here. With the Libra energy, I see harmony and balance here as well. So let's have a look at step up and take the lead. Somebody needs to step up and take the lead. Yeah, we got a person laying down some burdens here. This is good because this is a 10, end of a cycle. The sun starts to shine here. This is an energy of someone who pulls their weight too, responsible, reliable. So very nice energy. We got a person coming in that doesn't have any baggage, but I feel it stepping up and taking the lead is being responsible and dependable. It's an energy of someone who often follows through. And then we have Temperance, which is telling me this is someone just kind of being patient. So I do see a little test here too. I think this is someone just trying to be patient, a test to see if someone pulls their weight, if they're stable and reliable. Because it is about someone having to take the lead, but it's about being there when they're needed too. Someone who lifts the weight off someone's shoulders, they don't put the weight on them. And that's what this is about. Yeah, so I see someone here is definitely a little test here. Just kind of testing things out. Yeah, we have there's going to be communication where a person comes in, I feel very quickly, a lot of talk, communication, gaining momentum. Someone here is just kind of being patient. I said someone has an open heart, and I probably with this Libra energy keeping an open mind as well to kind of see what happens. So you may be dealing with someone. This could be single people, married people, but it has to do with someone pulling their weight, not laying more burdens and responsibilities on you. So this is, I feel, someone just kind of waiting to see what happens here. Because I feel with Temperance, it's often someone who takes a little step back and looks at things differently to see if this is someone who's their type or a different type. If you have a type that literally puts all the pressure and burdens upon you during day-to-day life, this is where I feel the test. Yeah, to see if this is someone who's different than your usual type. Cancer, what's going on? Tell me about I actually feel this is going to be positive. Tell me about the Ten of Wands. More clarity. Yeah, so it has to do with, yeah, some sort of an agreement. This is about commitment as well, but it's making sure you're on the same page because it has to do with somebody stepping up if they're going to step up and pull their weight. And if not, someone's definitely out of here. Okay, that's what I feel because it's someone who's been there, done that. This is an energy of someone who's not interested in someone who lays the burdens onto them, okay, and makes someone responsible for everything, which could be day-to-day life. Yeah, because the Hierophant speaks of often day-to-day life, social structure, but I feel it's about having some kind of an agreement here. There may have been a timeout in a committed relationship because of this, because someone's not pulling their weight. This is often, like I say, household chores, things like that, paying bills. Yeah. And I do see someone taking a little bit of a break here. There's been some kind of a timeout, but it's what someone's thinking. And I do feel with this, if it is just a new person coming in, which it very well could be, it's all about keeping an open mind and just seeing what's going to happen here. Let's have a look at Temperance. Why is Temperance here? Yeah, see, it's about two people who build each other up. They team up. They share the day-to-day life responsibilities. They work together as a team. So it's about things that you may have in common, compatibility. I wouldn't be surprised if both people are thinking this, if this is two people coming together. Yeah. And then we have, ooh, yeah, the Knight of Wands. There's a lot of enthusiasm, but this is often someone who feels pressure. See, it's if you got a person, and this could be something that's already happened, but it's often a person who feels pressured. So they come in all enthusiastic, and then they don't want to take responsibility, so they run away. And pull back often. Yeah, if you've had someone do this, you may be, and this to me looks like someone's thinking about that this has happened. See, it's all about whether someone's their type. This is someone's usual type. They come in all enthusiastic. They can't handle any kind of pressure whatsoever, and off they go. Yeah, someone who comes and goes. It's often, sometimes I feel what we have is people who, they don't want to be responsible. They don't want to be relied on. They don't want any pressure. But they come in enthusiastic. See, they come in and start it this way. And then after a period of time, this person doesn't pull their weight. So this is, I feel, a little test of patience, needing to be patient to see if this person who's coming in, or if there's a timeout in a committed relation, to see if there's going to be some kind of shift in the way someone behaves, the way they conduct themselves. Yeah. Let's have a look at this Six of Wands energy. Yeah. See, someone here has been there, done that. They're not interested in someone who doesn't pull their weight, or they just put pressure onto the other person. So there's like two points of view, I feel, here. Because the Knight of Wands is a person who does things without pressure. If they start feeling pressure, they back right out. But it's definitely that energy of someone thinking this. Because if someone's been there, done that, they're not into it. It's like two people maybe thinking different things, or one person leans more towards this, well, I'm not going to be pressured into doing things I don't want to do. I don't want someone relying on me. You know, I don't want to have to be reliable or dependable. I want to be able to just come and go as I please. But I actually feel this is a past energy where someone's healing or thinking about this, clearing this out. But I definitely can feel that Temperance is someone looking to see if someone's going to be their usual type, someone who doesn't stick around, and they don't want any responsibility for anything, but they're quite, happy to lay the burdens on the other person, basically letting someone else do all the work, and even blaming the other person, where, they're responsible. I really, this is an interesting read that this comes out, Cancer, but let's have a look at this Ten of Wands. Yeah, so it's about interest in investing. Someone's looking at whether they want to invest in this. I mean, it starts out with a lot of interest, but it's an energy of just needing to be a little patient. So in other words, kind of be a little patient, a little test, let somebody ease their way into it. So it's like both energies. Don't pressure somebody, but just kind of test it out a little and see if this is someone you can count on and rely on. It's someone who doesn't often want to be reliable. I feel some of you have a type who's your type is like that. So it's about changing your type. And that's what I feel. So it's energy, it's just kind of being patient and just see what goes on here. Yeah, but when I see this energy of been there, done that, someone who comes in all fast, enthusiastic, and then they're out of here because they don't want to be responsible. You see, that's what it's all about here. You can't rely on them. Some of you have a type that you can never really rely on. Wow, but I feel here with that, it is an energy of being a little bit patient. Taking a step back, looking at it different. But if you feel something is off, it's all about whether to invest in this situation or not. But only time will tell, because this is about time. See, giving it a little time, to see. And then we have High Priestess. It's saying to trust your intuition, your inner knowing. Okay. Yeah, this is an energy of kind of going within and looking at this. I mean, it could be another person thinking the same thing. I would be, two people of the same mind where they've also dealt with someone who doesn't pull their weight. You know, they want the other person to take care of everything. And then I also see the blame game, see, blaming somebody else because they're being, creating pressure. So I feel what it has to do with it's whether to even start something often. Because I feel like we got someone who's already kind of feeling that way. It's about not wanting to be relied upon. Yeah, someone who doesn't handle a lot of pressure, but yet they come in really quick. They come in super fast and they're all gung-ho. Yeah, tell me about this. Yeah, so we have an energy of someone here thinking things through. See, thinking it through first, choosing their battles. So some of you have definitely been through this. I can see it. Been there, done that. But it's about thinking it through, choosing the battles. It has to do with someone being decisive. So it's about thinking this through and being decisive before even starting it, because it has to do with someone who has to step up to the plate. They need to step up to the plate. Tell me about the Four of Swords. Yeah, see, it's about long-term stability, feeling safe and secure, house, a home. It's just an energy of day-to-day life. I feel it's about cooperating, compromising, being there, helping each other out. It's about lifting the burdens off a person that you connect with, not adding them. And that's what I feel some of you have a type like that. Tell me more about the the Knight of Swords. Yeah, someone here is having a little aha moment. See, that little moment of truth, that realization. And if you've just recently dealt with this could be why. So it's about trying not to pressure somebody. It's about being a little patient, but eventually someone's patience start to wear out. But there's a little aha moment. Yeah, interesting. It's just saying to just trust your intuition. I mean, to me, it looks as though this is someone who has a tendency to keep things to themselves too. And I also see that energy of someone who doesn't tell somebody when something's bothering them. But if you try to pressure them to tell you what's bothering them, again, they kind of disappear. So you have to look at whether this is someone that you're compatible with. Okay, because the Three of Pentacles is about going down this path, doing things together. See, I wouldn't even quite honestly be surprised if this person, you're both thinking the same thing. I almost feel like that's what's going on, but I'm not quite convinced yet because I'm seeing a past kind of energy here as well. Tell me about the High Priestess. Yeah, see, chaos, conflict, drama. So if this is someone who starts to feel pressured, they don't, they're not pulling their weight, they're not stepping up to the plate. Then comes the chaos, conflict, drama, the arguing, the fighting. So it's an energy of someone who really doesn't want this. But like, I wonder if this is, I feel really positive here because this is where I feel someone's taking a step back, looking at things different, whether someone's their same type. Because I feel like it's about getting started. We have a person thinking. Okay, now this could be a timeout, like I say, between committed relationship, but it has to do with making sure you're on the same page, that you're in agreement. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised here that this actually turns out better than it looks because it's just all this energy of what has happened before. But it has to do with whether you're each other's type. Because I feel one person's type is, again, the person who rushes in all enthusiastic. They're in a hurry to get everything done. And people who hurry through things often don't do things right. And I feel that's part of the energy. Yeah. But the other energy is the Knight of Swords. And this is also an energy of pretty fast-moving energy. But it's someone having to think things through, to choose their battles. See, it's about choosing your battles, whether something's actually worth fighting for or not. That's where I see a couple where someone isn't pulling their weight. And I do see arguing, fighting. I do see some drama. But it's about trying to avoid all that. And the whole point of that is to have that conversation where you're on the same page. Two people building each other up, not tearing each other down, blaming each other. And that's what I feel. For some people, there's been this blaming energy. So it's trying to find this happy medium and making sure you're both in agreement. That if this is someone, and for some of you, it could come down to, especially if it's just someone new coming in, you're waiting to see if this is someone who's going to be your usual type, and that they'll step up to the plate, where you have that, you kind of just wait a little time, choose your battles, choose your time to talk about it. So don't rush into that when you first connect with someone. Just, it's all about whether or not that you can really just count on someone to be there if you need them. You see, that's what I feel some of you are going to be thinking about and looking, but try to choose your battles. Try not to rush into this. Try to choose a time, where the appropriate time to connect. Don't pressure someone. Yeah. But I feel a lot of it is just seeing if someone's going to actually do that, if they're going to be your same old type who doesn't want to take any responsibility. You can't rely on them. They're not there for thick and thin. And I actually feel this other person is someone who just might be, because it's temperance, just right, doing things just right. But I actually wouldn't be surprised if this turns out well. But I feel it's at the point now where it's hard to say. I have to be honest about that. Yeah, see, it's about avoiding confrontation, teaming up, building each other up. If you have a person who just comes in when they want physical attention, but yet you can't rely on them when you want to communicate or whatever, they feel pressured. You really want to look at it. Like, in other words, don't even go there with someone if you feel, once you've, connected and spent some time together, to see if this person's going to be like your usual type, which I feel for some people are. I think this person who's coming in is thinking about it just as much, because it's right there in the beginning where they're pinned down by their thoughts and they're thinking if this is going to be the same old situation. Yeah. Tell me about the Lovers, because this is about love. It's about two people building each other up, not tearing each other down. And I feel someone really doesn't want that. Like, it's about trying to, I feel, avoid that. Yeah, we have an Emperor here. Look at that. The Emperor energy. This is somebody wanting to make something happen. But this is someone looking at what's happened, I feel, in past relationships. They have this type. So in other words, this is somebody looking at someone who may be different than their usual type. Someone who may actually pull their weight. Someone who can be counted on to be there when they're needed. But it goes both ways. Tell me more about this Emperor. Ooh, this is getting good, yeah. So this does look like someone new coming in, and I do feel they're just thinking about this. Yeah. But I feel both of you, I would have to say, that's a masculine energy. I would imagine the feminine may be thinking the same thing. Whatever you do, do not let this person lay all the burdens on you, okay? And that is even when you're dating, somebody who's always doing all the work, the person who does all the planning, preparing, whatever it may be, because we have all this Capricorn energy, and then we have Libra here. It's about being fair. It's all about being fair, because, and it is making sure, and I do feel there could be some kind of an agreement here at some point, but I don't feel it's something that's going to be talked about right away, because I feel just waiting for the right time and being a little patient for the right time to communicate. But I'm seeing a lot of happiness here. Someone's feeling actually positive. See, it's about starting it. And yeah, it's all about whether someone can be relied on. Yeah, we have the Empress energy. So we have a person who's very curious. See, they're doing some thinking. And this is about learning. And because the Seven of Pentacles, they're very curious. They want to know everything. So they want to know everything about you. So that's a good thing. Somebody who actually asks you questions about your life. So it shows that there's some seriousness here. Okay? Yeah, because some of you have types who don't reciprocate. They don't pull their weight. They don't even talk and want to know anything about you. Because that's a type who doesn't want any pressure. So they don't really even want to learn or know a lot about you, because then it looks like some sort of commitment. So that's another scenario I feel here. But this is somebody here who definitely is curious and they want to know more. Yeah, I think both people, we have the Emperor and Empress energy. So it's two people, who've mastered the energy, the kings and the queens. They've both been there, done that. And not going to go there again. Guaranteed. This won't go anywhere if we don't have two people who share pull the weight or just step up to the plate, which stepping up to the plate is just starting it, coming in clear. See, the sun's shining. It's all about clarity, nothing hidden. But it's about being happy and being very positive. Just going into it thinking very positive, happy thoughts. The Emperor's definitely looking at this. But I feel the Empress is just I feel it's the feminine kind of, because this is someone looking to see how somebody communicates. Because the Page is curious, but it's also someone learning. So giving a person time to learn. It's often about how to communicate too, choosing your battles, when is the right time to talk about certain things. But there's definitely that energy of a person who just doesn't deal with a lot of pressure. But that could be a past energy. If you have a type who often rushes in and disappears because they don't want to be responsible. Yeah, but I feel past relationship with two people just blaming each other, fighting and arguing, and this is two people who've been there, done that. In other words, I feel it has to do with this Page of Swords, someone having to tell somebody what they need to do because they don't do it on their own. They don't step up to the plate. So I feel there's a lot of thinking. So this tells me some of you have a new person coming in. I feel like you're very much open, and I do see reciprocity and being able to talk. But this person's going to ask you, want to know everything about you. There's questions. See, they have questions. But right now I feel they're just thinking them. But and also this is a person who's rushed in and out. I feel some of you have a situation where they're hard to pin down. See, about they're hard to pin down. It's like you can never pin them down to get a time to do anything. So pretty interesting there. Now we also know Emperors and Empress are often busy people. They have a lot going on. So it's about two people, I feel, just being there for each other, teaming up, cooperating and compromising. So there's a lot of look about this compatibility and types. Yeah, I find this very interesting read. I certainly didn't expect this energy, Cancer, but I'm seeing new. I do see the Empress and the Emperor here thinking. I see clarity. See, this is all about clarity, communicating clearly. Yeah, making sure that you both know what it is that you want. But the biggest part is choosing the time to talk about it. It's about being a little patient for a little time, okay? Especially with a new person, being a little patient for a little bit before you start questioning and putting somebody in pressure. And that goes for both people because it's in the middle. Yeah. See, it's supposed to be about taking the pressure off the other person, not adding it. And that's what I feel. We have a lot of this energy of people who've been through this, right? Yeah. If you've recently had someone who's rushed in and rushed out because they don't want to be responsible, reliable, they don't want to have to be there for someone, I wouldn't be surprised some of you are open to someone new coming in, going down a different path. It's also an energy of recognizing, learning, whether someone's actually your type. And I think we got some people who are really starting to click about their type and learning to recognize and see the differences here. So pretty interesting. Yeah, it's all about putting in effort, whether they put in some kind of effort, because often you get people come together, the other person wants the other one to do all the work because they're like, well, I'm at work and I'm busy and I don't have time. It's about making time. It's putting in the effort. But there's also this energy of someone being a perfectionist, doing things perfect. Yeah. I feel there's someone here who has a tendency to rush through things. Interesting. I really like this reading though, but I feel time will tell, and that's what I feel. Everything out in the open. I feel some of you have someone new coming in, and this is the thinking, but it's both people thinking the same thing. Yeah, pinned down by your thoughts, kind of thinking, well, is this going to be the same situation again? Take care, Cancer. Okay, don't be the one to put in all the effort. Okay, do not be the person to just lift the weight off this person's shoulders. Okay, it has to go both ways. It has to be fair. This is why the Libra energy is here. It's about fair. But I feel like you're opening your heart to this person. And I do think this is someone who's going to do the same. Emperor and Empress energy. This is a couple of people who've obviously, you know, manifested all the energies of the kings and the queens. They know what's expected. What's expected. It looks pretty good, actually, in the end. Take care. Bye for now.